Yesterday we discussed about AWS. What are the topics we are going to cover in AWS? I told you that for AWS we required Linux fundamentals, Linux basics. From next weekend onwards, we're going to start the fundamentals. Today we'll discuss about what is the operating system, why you need to use operating system, what are the types of ways, what is client, what is server, all this stuff. Operating systems are classified as two types. One is Microsoft family, Windows. The other one is Unix family. Microsoft family and Unix family. What is the difference between Windows and Unix? Windows, everything is graphical mode, GUI mode, graphical user interface. Unix, everything is CLI. CLI stands command line interface. Windows, everything is graphical. Unix, everything is command line. Which are comes under Microsoft family. We also call flavors of Windows. Those are Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, all this comes under Microsoft family. We also have Windows 2012, 2012. Windows 2022. These are comes under Microsoft family, also called flavors of Windows, which are comes under Unix family or flavors of Unix. Those are Linux, Solaris, HP Unix, IBM AX, all this comes under Unix family. Macintosh, Apple Talk, Digital Unix, SCO Unix, 264 Unix, NCR Unix, Mac OS, all this comes under Unix family. What is different between Windows? We have Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, and 2012, 2016. What is the difference? The difference is Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, all these are client operating system. All these are client ways. Windows 2012, 2016, 2019, all these are server operating system. Microsoft has been classified as two types, client OS and server OS. What is the difference between client and server? The difference is client is a single user. Whereas server is multi-user. What is single user? Laptop is single user. Desktop is single user. Single user means only one user can log in at a time. You cannot log in more than one user on laptop. That is called single user. All ATM machines also single user. We can insert only one ATM card at a time. Whereas server is multi-user. Example for server, gmail.com, yahoo.com, Facebook, YouTube, all these are server ways. Multiple user can log in Gmail at a time. Multiple user can log into Facebook at a time. So those are the applications, enterprise application deployed on server ways. We can't deploy the enterprise application on client operating system. It needs server ways. Another difference is client cannot share the data. Suppose there is some data in my laptop. I'll have to share the data with you people. I cannot share. I need to copy to the pen drive. Only through pen drive we can share the data from one laptop to another laptop. If I don't have a pen drive, how do you share my data with you people? Upload to the gmail.com, Google Drive, Gmail, Google Drive, Those are server upon instance. They give one URL. With that URL, you can download it. The server can share the data. Data in the sense resources. Client cannot share the resources, server can share the resources. Any application you want to deploy, it need a server OS, not client OS. That is difference between client and server. Generally, the system name in Windows, we call it as computer name. How to see the system name? Go to Windows, this PC properties. Go to this PC properties, there we can see the computer name. In Unix, the system name, we call it as host name. Microsoft, we call computer name. Unix, we call host name. What is the difference between computer name and host name? Both are same or both are different? Both are not same. If you take Microsoft family, in my lab, if you install Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11 in my laptop, I call my laptop as a client because I install the client operating system. On the same laptop, if you install 2012, 2019, 2022, I call my laptop as a server. Why? Because I install the server operating system. Why it is called computer name? The computer can be configured as a client. The computer can be configured as a server based on what Microsoft family you install. Whereas if you install Unix, any operating system, any flavor in your laptop, Unix always server. Unix cannot be a client. That could be any flavor. It always server. Either Linux or Solaris or AX or HUnix, any Unix flavor, if you install it, it always server. Unix cannot be a client. Windows can be configured as a client. Windows can be configured as a server, but Unix always server, no client. There is a difference between Microsoft family and Unix family. So Unix we call as a host. What's the meaning of host? Host always server. Host cannot be a client. Example, air hostess. What the job of air hostess? Serves client request. The job of air hostess serves the client request. So host always server. Host cannot be a client. So finally, what I mean to say, in the real time, Windows can be configured as a client. Windows can be configured as a server, but Unix always server. No matter what flavor of Unix, it always server. So Unix always servers, Windows always client. When you go to this AWS account, AWS Cloud, yesterday I told you that EC2 is the service. Under EC2 service, we have instance. Instance nothing but a server. The servers AWS Cloud we call instance. The servers in Azure Cloud we call virtual machine. Azure Cloud we call virtual machine. GCP also we call virtual machine. In AWS we call it as a instance. When you click on launch instance, Here we see only Linux operating systems. All Linux operating systems are server OS, no client OS. Mac OS is a server. Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Linux, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, all this comes under Linux family. Unix family is different, Linux family is different. We'll discuss about Linux family later. Under this, we have Windows, Microsoft. Here we can see there is no client OS. All are server operating system. No Windows 10, no Windows 11. All these are server OS. If you want to deploy our application as a DevOps engineer, their job is to deploy the application. Before they deploy the application, the job of the cloud admin, you have to provide one server based on the compute capacity. What compute capacity you require? I told you that compute capacity is nothing but your processor and RAM. That is called compute capacity. So that is the job of cloud admin. You have to provision one server to the cloud to the DevOps engineer so that they can deploy the application. So that is the difference between client and server. Coming to the device driver. What is the meaning of driver? A driver is a piece of software which interact with hardware devices. It's a piece of software which interact with the hardware devices. For example, device drivers are two types. One is monolithic device driver. The other one is modular device drivers. Device drivers are two types, monolithic and modular. What is the difference? Monolithic means cannot be changed or cannot be removed or cannot be added. We cannot uninstall it, we cannot remove it. That is called monolithic. What is modular? Module can be added, module can be removed. We can install the module, we can uninstall the module. What is the best example for monolithic? In your mobile, what is monolithic, which cannot be uninstalled, which cannot be removed in mobile? That is called operating system. What is the operating system we are going to use in the mobile? Android. What is Android? Nothing but operating system. Or iOS. What is iOS stands? iPhone operating system. This is called monolithic. You cannot uninstall it, you cannot remove it. What is modular? Module can be installed, module can be uninstalled. That is called apps. Apps can be installed, apps can be uninstalled, like Truecaller, WhatsApp. All these are modular. Finally, mobile is what? Is it monolithic or modular? It is not 100% monolithic, not 100% modular. When you purchase mobile, it comes with the default apps. Those default apps it cannot be uninstalled, cannot be removed. That is called monolithic. Remaining everything is modular. While learning AWS, you need to understand AWS architecture, cloud architecture. Cloud architecture. While learning Linux administration, you need to understand Linux operating system architecture, like Windows architecture, Linux, Unix architecture. Let us discuss about the difference between Windows and Unix architecture. So there is a hardware, laptop is a hardware, desktop is a hardware. On top of the hardware, they are going to install the operating system. That is called kernel. On top of that, you are the user. So hardware, kernel, and user. What's the meaning of kernel? Kernel is nothing but operating system. The component of operating system, we call it as a kernel. Operating system, kernel, both are same. For example, Android. What is Android? Android is nothing but a kernel. If you go to about phone, we can see that kernel version. Kernel means operating system version. iOS is the kernel. This is about Windows architecture. Unix architecture. Same hardware. On top of that, there is a kernel. On top of the kernel, we have a shell. On top of the shell, you are the user. So this is Unix architecture. Hardware, kernel, shell, and user. So this is the difference between Windows architecture and Unix architecture. What is kernel? How do you define the kernel? A kernel is the software which interacts with the hardware device. Or you can say that a kernel is the interface between the user and the hardware. Or you can say that a kernel is the file which contains all device drivers. All we can say system drivers. It's a file which contains all system drivers. What is the meaning of system drivers? Whenever we install operating system, some drivers are automatically installed. Those are called system drivers. Every operating system has their own kernel. Every operating system has their own kernel. For example, in Linux, there is a kernel file that is called VM Linux. VM Linux, name of the kernel in Linux. For Solaris, the name of the kernel we call Unix. For HP Unix, the name of the kernel we call VM Unix. For Windows, the name of the kernel we call command.com, and io.6. Both the files we call it as kernel. Every operating system has their own kernel. What is kernel? Kernel nothing but a file. It's a file which contains all system drivers. It's a file which contains all system drivers. What is command.com in Windows? Go to command prompt. Press Windows R, type CMD. Go to command prompt. Type DIR to see the files and folders. Type CLS, clear the screen. Type MD, make directory. CD, change directory. RD, remove directory. All these commands are in the command.com. What is command.com? Nothing but kernel. Command.com nothing but kernel. What IO.sys file contains all system drivers. This file contains all system drivers. What is the meaning of system drivers? System drivers, we cannot uninstall it. We cannot remove it. How to see the system drivers in Windows? Go to Device Manager. Click on Device Manager. All these are system drivers. Did I install these drivers manually? No. While installation of operating system, the drivers are automatically installed. You cannot uninstall the hard disk driver. You cannot uninstall the CPU driver, memory driver. So what I mean to say finally, kernel always monolithic. What is monolithic? You cannot uninstall it. You cannot remove it. Why these are called flavors of Windows Microsoft family? For all Microsoft family, my kernel is same. When the kernel is same, why they named as Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11? We cannot uninstall the kernel. We can upgrade the kernel. All these are upgradations. Android, we can't uninstall the Android. We can't uninstall the iOS, but we can upgrade it. Sometimes we'll see notification, upgrade your software. Nothing but we are upgrading your operating system, iOS or Android. The kernel cannot be uninstalled, but we can upgrade it. So for all Microsoft family, the kernel is same. Whatever commands in the command.com, those are like dir. All these commands are in the kernel. These commands, we can run any Microsoft family, not only Windows 10, not only Windows 11, we can run any Microsoft family. The reason for all Microsoft family, the kernel is same. When we come into the Unix we have a shell. What is shell? A shell is a command interpreter. A shell is a command interpreter. Or we can say a shell is the interface between the user and the kernel. A shell interface between the user and the kernel. The difference is in Microsoft, user can directly interact with the kernel. User can directly interact with the kernel, and the kernel will interact with the hardware. Whereas Unix, user cannot directly interact with the kernel. User always interact with the shell, and shell interact with the kernel. Kernel interact with the hardware. In Windows, all the commands are in the kernel. Unix, all the commands are in the shell, like ls. ls lists the files. ls lists the files. pwd. pwd stands present working directory. mkdir, make directory. rmdir, remove directory. All the commands not in the kernel, in the shell. That is different between Microsoft family and Unix family. No shell in Microsoft, shell only in Unix. Because of shell, no virus for Unix. We never heard about virus for Unix, virus only for Microsoft. The reason is because of the shell. Shell is a firewall. Any unknown program, any command or unknown program, when the shell can't be able to understand that, it won't execute that, it won't pass the command or the program to the kernel. The commands, the programs which are unknown to the shell, those commands cannot be run, cannot be executed. That's why no virus to the kernel. In the real time, most of the applications, databases always deploy on Unix operating system. Why? Because of no virus. Now, what's the meaning of flavor here? For example, take cold drink. In cold drink, there are so many flavors like Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola. There are so many flavors. Why we call flavors of cold drink? Whenever we say flavor, there should be some monolithic. What is monolithic in the cold drink which cannot be changed, which cannot be removed? That is called water. We cannot remove the water, we cannot change the water. The water is monolithic. Because water is monolithic, all this comes under flavors of cold drink. Now, what is difference between Pepsi and Thumbs Up? Difference between Pepsi and cold drink. Difference between Thumbs Up and cold drink. Pepsi is the flavor of cold drink. Thumbs Up is a flavor of cold drink. What is cold drink? It's a trademark. It's a trademark or generic word. It's a trademark or generic word. If you say cold drink, there is no meaning. I should tell the flavor. How do you know that it's a Pepsi or Thumbs Up? By seeing the label. If I remove the label, we can't identify is it a Pepsi or Thumbs Up. Why? Because the color remains same. We'll identify the cold drink only with the label. Likewise, Windows is not operating system. Windows is the trademark. Under this, there are so many flavors. So I should tell that in my lab, I install Windows 10, Windows 11. There's no meaning of Windows. We should tell the flavor. How do we come to know that install Windows 7 or 8 or 10? Go to this PC properties. You can see here Windows 10. Without going to this PC properties, we don't know what Microsoft family it is. So Windows is the trademark, our generic word. I should tell the flavor. If you go to Naukri looking for a job on Windows administration, if you go to Naukri or Monitor, any job portals, there will see requirement on Windows 2016, requirement on Windows 2019, requirement on Windows 2022. They never mention that Windows administrator. No meaning for Windows admin. They should tell the flavor. Like that, there's no company ask Linux, Unix administrator. Unix is a trademark, under which there are so many flavors. You'll see that Naukri Monitor requirement of Linux administrator 0 to 5 years experience. Solaris administrator 10 to 15 years. HPNX, IBM AX minimum 10 years experience. They won't mention that we need Unix administrator. Unix is the trademark. So don't think that Unix is different, Linux is different. There's no voice called Unix. There's no like cool drink. Under cool drink, there are so many flavors. Like under Unix, there are so many flavors. Tomorrow, you're looking for a job in cloud. No company will ask that we need cloud admin. No company will ask that we need cloud admin. Under cloud, there are so many cloud service providers, AWS, Azure, GCP, all this comes under cloud service provider. They clearly mention that AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud, all this comes under cloud. Cloud is a trademark. So any questions so far? So go to AWS. I'm going to launch Red Hat Linux. Say default t2.micro, TPA. Click on launch instance. Now, how do you connect? Click on the checkbox, click on connect, copy this SSH, go to Windows, Microsoft Family, command prompt, go to downloads folder, paste that command here. You got connected to the Linux server. Where this server is in cloud. Cloud means internet. Cloud means internet. Is it a Windows or Linux? Is it Windows or Unix? It's a Unix. Why? Because of CLI, command line. Windows, everything is graphical. Unix, everything is command line. If at all you want to work any Microsoft family, I need a mouse. Without mouse, we can't able to work. You want to work with Unix family, we need a keyboard. Without keyboard, we can't able to work because of CLI. If you say Unix, no meaning for that. Unix is the trademark. I should tell that it's a Linux or Solaris or AX or HP Unix. How do we come to know that? Run the command uname -s. What is showing that it's a Linux? Without going to this specific properties, we don't know what Microsoft family installed. Without typing this command, we don't know what flavor of Unix it is. If it is Solaris, we'll see the output as a Sun OS. HP Unix, we'll see the output as HPX. This is different between Windows, Microsoft family, and Unix family. So we have a client wise and server wise. We discussed earlier what is client, what is server. Clients always Windows 7 or Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. All these are client wise. Server wise are Windows 2016, 2016, 2016, 2019, 2022. All these are server operations. In Microsoft, we have a client wise and server wise both. Tomorrow, when you joined as a Linux administrator, or you joined as a DevOps engineer, or you joined as a cloud admin, or you joined as a programmer. So definitely they'll ask one question to check that whether you have genuine experience or fake experience. They'll ask one question: what is our physical access? What is our physical access? If you say that my physical access are Windows 2016, 2019, when you attend the interview on Windows platform and you say that I have physical access 2016, 2019, they can understand you have fake experience. No one will have server access. The physical access means laptop. Laptop is a physical access. What happens when they install Windows 10 or 11? That is called client OS. Then how you are going to log into the server from the client? Where these servers are on internet. Cloud means what? Internet. Anywhere in the world. If this server yes, are you going to yes to give the support? Not required. I can give the support from Hyderabad or anywhere. Then how you are going to log into the server from client? We have a protocol called RDP. RDP stands Remote Desktop Protocol. All Windows admins they log into the server ways from the Windows client by using RDP. remote desktop protocol. With this RDP, we are able to connect to the server OS and we can work on the server. This server could be anywhere on internet. When client is Windows, server also Windows, both are Microsoft family. When both are Microsoft family, we call it as homogeneous. Homogeneous means what? Same Microsoft family. The kernel is same. Let us say tomorrow you purchase a laptop with Mac OS, MacBook. Mac OS, MacBook is a Unix, not Windows. That means what? A laptop is a client. Here I install MacBook. The client also Linux. MacBook is Unix or Linux. The laptop is client. Where I install MacBook, Mac OS, that is called Unix or Linux. But server is Linux. Maybe Red Hat Linux. So client is also Unix, server also Unix. Sometimes they'll give the laptop with MacBook, Mac OS. In that case, your laptop is a client. But my server is Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu Linux, Fedora Linux, Amazon Linux. That could be any flavor. So how you are going to connect to the server from your laptop? When both are Unix, we are going to use SSH. SSH stands secure shell. When both are Unix, we are going to use SSH, secure shell. When client is Unix, server also Unix, then we are also called homogeneous. Same Unix family. Both are Unix. But most of the cases, your clients always Windows. Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11. Servers always Linux. Just now we have seen that in AWS we have Red Hat Linux, Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Linux, SUSE Linux, Debian Linux. All these are server operating systems. Where a laptop is a client OS. Now how we are going to log in from client to server, Linux server in the real time? We are going to use a third-party software that is called PuTTY or PuTTY. Install the PuTTY third-party software in your laptop. For example, this is my server in AWS cloud. So how you are going to log in to this server? My laptop is Windows. Take the public IP of the server. Where do you get the public IP? Go to networking. This is my public IP. Copy this public IP. When they give the laptop to you, in that laptop, the PuTTY already installed. If not installed, you need to install it. Copy the public IP and paste it in. Click on OK. Accept. I got connected to the Linux server. Where the server is internet. Internet means what? I don't know the physical location of the server. As a cloud admin or Linux admin, we don't require the physical location of the server. It could be anywhere on internet. And what is I required? I need IP address and credentials, login name and password. If you have IP address and login name, password, credentials, you're able to log into the server, any Linux server, either AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud, through PuTTY, third-party software. This is what real time. If somebody asks an interview, what is the physical access? Don't say that Linux. You should tell that my physical access is Windows. like Windows 10, Windows 11. Now, how you are going to log in? Through putty. When clients are Windows, server is Unix or Linux. This could be Unix as well, any flavor. When both are, sorry, when client is Windows and server is Unix or Linux, we call it as heterogeneous. What is heterogeneous? Windows to Unix, Unix to Windows, we call it as heterogeneous. In the real time, we are going to work only in heterogeneous environment. Example for heterogeneous. You go to ATM. All ATM machines are Windows. All ATM machines are Windows. Why Windows? Why not Linux? It's a user-friendly desktop, graphical mode. Just now I told you, Unix or Linux is a command line. No desktop, no graphical. But all ATM machines are user-friendly, graphical mode. It's a Windows. After giving the PIN number, we are able to see how much amount we have. Where this data being installed, the data is installed, or data is there in the server. What server it is? A database server. Your data is stored in the database server. But can you see that with the database server? We don't know. If you go to airlines reservation, railway reservation, bus reservation, any office, we'll see only all laptops are Windows only. But all the servers are Unix or Linux. This is called heterogeneous. I will talk about front end and back end. What is front end? What is back end? Just now I told you, wherever we go, our physical access only Windows. That is called laptop. That is called front end. Front end means what? We're able to see that. What waves is installed, that is called front end. If you go to ATM, you're able to see that Windows operating system. That is called front end. You log into gmail.com, yahoo.com from your laptop. Your laptop is a front end where Windows installed. But back end is always Unix or Linux. Meaning what? Database we never preferred on Windows. Database always preferred on Linux or Unix. You log into the gmail.com, yahoo.com, you're able to see the mails, where the mails are in the database server, where database installed on Linux server. Can you able to see the database server? Can you able to see the Linux server? We can't able to see that. That is called backend. Why we always prefer your application database always we deploy on Linux servers or Unix server? Why not Windows? Just now we discussed Windows has virus. Unix or Linux, no virus. Windows has downtime. Unix or Linux, no downtime. What is this downtime? Do you remember 3-4 months back, WhatsApp is down for 1 hour? 2-3 years back, WhatsApp is down for 3 hours. 5-7 years back, Facebook is down for 5 hours. That is called downtime. If you're working as Windows administrator, there is some issue. You're trying to resolve that issue, but we are not able to resolve. You tried 1 day, 2 days, but issue is not resolved. Finally, project manager says that reboot the server. If you reboot the server, all the problems will be resolved. But what is the problem? If I reboot my database server, production server, application server, when you reboot database, application server, it will take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to stop the system. 2 to 3 hours to stop the system. So 2 to 3 hours, no one can access my application. That is called downtime. No one can access my application 2 to 3 hours. That is called downtime. If Google Pay is down for 1 hour, all customers will switch to the phone pay. They lose the business. There should not be any downtime to my application. There should not be any downtime to the end users or my customers. That is called Unix. No downtime. We never shut down. We never reboot. 24/7, 365 days, these servers are up and running. Because of no virus, because of no downtime, we'll always prefer databases or application always deploy on Linux servers. So before you go for a cloud, you need to understand what is client OS, what is server OS, what is homogeneous, what is heterogeneous, how to log into Windows to Windows by using RDP. We see practical also, Windows to Windows by using RDP, how to log into the Linux server, Unix to Unix by using SSH, how to log into the Linux server on internet, AWS cloud through PuTTY. All this we'll discuss theoretically, practically. Before you go for this AWS cloud, you need to understand this terms, the concepts. Any questions?
No, sir, no. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So we are done demo sessions for AWS and Linux. For next week onwards, we are going to start Linux basics fundamentals.
Sir, only you are going to cover VPC, Route 53, and network load balancer and EC2. All these only the services only, right? So not to the connect direct NLB. Maybe
LLB,
for example,
ELB, elastic load balancer, auto scaling. They are the major services. Some services are CloudWatch, SNS. All these are very, very small topics. You go through the browser, you have a browser, right? You go through the So anything else? So next Saturday, Sunday, we'll still discuss about the basic.
Next Saturday, Sunday. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.